Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm on my phone at the moment, so sorry about this camera angle. I don't usually do this on my phone. I hope everyone's well. I hope everyone's keeping safe, and I hope everyone's having a decent week if you can. It's a bit of a scary world out there again at the moment, I know. Hope people are okay and feeling all right. So I just want to talk about Liverpool Newcastle. So we've got the Liverpool Newcastle game today. If it goes ahead, we never know at this moment in time. Jurgen Klopp said yesterday that everyone in the squad and the staff had negative COVID tests. So at the moment, everything seems okay. Same in the Newcastle camp. So that seems to be okay at the moment. Uh, yeah, it's all going ahead. Liverpool and Newcastle don't have any positives coming back, so everything's fine at this moment in time. Yeah, this should be it should be quite a beating. To be fair, I'm hoping anyway. I'm hoping. Um, yeah, as I say, so there's no positives coming out of the Newcastle and Liverpool camp. Um, this COVID is getting a bit out of control again. Apparently, Chelsea have lost 3 players to COVID, but tweets are coming out from people in the know saying that them 3 players have been isolated. Everyone else in the camp has been tested, and they've all got negative comeback. So at the moment, everything is fine there, and they will play their game against Everton. Everton probably wish the game was suspended with the injuries Everton have and the problems they've got going on at this moment in time. But you know, them 3 players have been isolated. The game can continue, and that's a good thing. Hi, John. Hope you're well, John Conway. That's a good thing because I just want to talk about this COVID thing first before I get into this Liverpool Newcastle game. So I was just on the football terrace not long ago, about half hour ago. I was just on the football terrace having my point of view on this, and it it's starting to become a political standpoint from clubs. Um, like Leicester want their game; they got their game suspended from Tottenham tonight because the main reason is that Leicester have no fit first team centre backs because they're all out with COVID, and because of that, they wanted the game postponed. Now, I make the thing I said on the football terrace today. I made the thing of saying, have we got to start treating players that have got COVID like injuries? Because if Brendan Rodgers' Leicester team had all their first team centre halves injured, like they have at the moment with COVID, the game wouldn't have been suspended. Apparently, Leicester have got enough first team players and youth players, squad, whatever, and staff to do a match day squad. Same with Tottenham at the moment because Tottenham have got all their players back that were had drew through COVID. So it's all for me. It's political. Obviously, health does come first. That's not. I'm not pretending it don't. Health does come first. You know, if you've got a massive outbreak, of course the game's got to be suspended. But I think what the Premier League are going to look at, because Tottenham have got to play 3, they got 3 games in hand above everyone, Tottenham, and they've got to find a place to play 3 games. Now, what everyone keeps forgetting is next season we have a World Cup at Christmas time. the Through the whole of December, the league will be stopped because we have to have uh, a World Cup in December. Now, we've got no summer sporting event this summer, and I don't. The league can't play through the summer like they did last season, finishing the league in like June or July, and then going again. 7 weeks later to start a new season when you've got a World Cup next Christmas time. It's just not possible. So to suspend all these games and put a break on the Premier League, it's going to be extremely difficult. Now, yes, unfortunately, money comes into these sort of things as it always does. Premier League have got, massive rights on everything, and you know, Amazon over Christmas have bought the rights for the Christmas games, and there's a lot of money at stake, and that will be a factor. As much as you say it shouldn't be, it will be a factor. And also, what will be a factor is when do you play these games? You suspend the Premier League for 2 weeks, like people were saying, up 10 days up to 2 weeks, have a little circuit breaker to get these COVID things back under thing. Um, when do you play these games? As I say, they can't have the season going into the summer like they did last year and expect to have the players back in 8 weeks when we've got a World Cup next Christmas with the league being paused and going overtime next season. You'll kill these players. So suspending the league, I just don't know when you play the games again. And the only way you do this is that you cancel the league entirely. You just cancel the league, and that's it. But they're not going to do that because there's too much money. So these, great, mate. You all right, fella? Hope you're doing all right, matey. I'll come and see you soon when I'm not so busy here. Um, when do we play these games? So Liverpool and Newcastle have got they're in their camp. They've got no COVID at the moment. Everything's fine. I'm good, John. Hope you're well, mate. What I think they need to do, I think the NBA did this last year. The NBA did this last year. So in the NBA, all the teams stayed in their own bubbles and stayed in hotels near their training grounds, and then they trained and then went back to their hotel, trained, went back to the hotel, had a match, went back to the hotel. And I think that is what's going to happen in the Premier League. I think the Premier League, to stop the spread of COVID around the Premier League players and to, make sure the league don't get suspended, because there's no time to replay these games. The season's too busy. Too many games to play with Europe as well, and with a World Cup next Christmas. There's nowhere to put these games. There's nowhere to start again. So I think what the Premier League might do, these players get paid enough. Let's not be, they're going to be away from their families for a couple of weeks, but, they get paid enough money to do this. So what they might do is end up putting the teams in bubbles. So they all stay in hotels near their training grounds. So they do their training. They all go back to a hotel in bubbles, continuously get testing. They don't see anyone, don't have contact with anyone. The only contact you have is with the whole team and the coaching staff and everyone involved. And that's it. And then you do match day, and then you go back to the hotel, and you do that for a couple of weeks. Do that for the next few weeks to get this COVID crisis in the Premier League down. Because I don't see how you do it any other way. There's no room to ban. You can't put a 2-week break. I know people are saying, I'll put a 2-week break on the Premier League and all that. Look, I don't want the Premier League to stop. Football's my thing. It helps my mental health as well, like a lot of other people do. It does help their mental health. It's something for them to look forward to every weekend and midweek at the moment. Something to get up for, something to get excited about. And, obviously we want players to be healthy. We don't want them to get, bad things from COVID and stuff like that, like Kimmich has from Bayern Munich, where he's got lung problems now. So we don't want to have that. But these players get paid very, very well. And, they can afford, and their families will understand as well, that they're just going to have to go in hotels for a few weeks. It's their job. This is their profession at the end of the day. Go in club hotels for a few weeks. Stay in your bubble, do your training, do your match day, go back to your hotel, stay in your bubble. And that way you will cut the thing of COVID down in Premier League clubs. Because what happens if you shut the league down for 2 weeks? So you shut the league down for 2 weeks. They've then got to find somewhere to play all them games, because I think that's like 3 or 4 games in 2 weeks that you miss. So then you've got to find somewhere to play all them games. But then what happens in 4 weeks' time, when players all start to get COVID again? You can't just shut it down again. So there is a big issue here, and it's a political issue at the end of the day. Let's not get out of thing. If Leicester City had their whole youth team had got COVID, but their first team, their main squad and everything was absolutely fine. They'd still carry on playing, right? But Leicester and their first team all train in the same place, their new training complex. They all train together, yeah? Let's not get this right. It's all political. Leicester got their game suspended today, postponed today, because they've got no first team centre backs. That's the reason. That's the reason. You know, it's just, I don't know what you guys, let me know what you guys think. Hi, Jade, hope you're well. Uh, will Klopp go strong tonight and then risk the Spurs game with a weakened side, or the other way around? That's a good question. I'll get to that in a second, Jade. John, they're definitely not going to cancel league, but they really need to sort out soon. Yep, exactly. Just hope they start playing behind. Just hope they don't start playing behind closed door. Yeah, exactly. Hi, Chris. Yeah, I'm well, mate. Hope you're feeling better now, fella. I know what you said on Twitter. Hope you're feeling a bit better. Grant, I hope you're all right, mate. Hope you're doing well, fella. Miss you. Um, but yeah, so guys, let me know what you think. Personally, I think, you know, we don't want to play behind closed doors, and that's not really the problem, because with stadiums that hold 10,000 or more people, you have to show a COVID passport to get into the stadium, or a negative lateral flow test that you've done, that day going to the stadium, not 24 hours beforehand. It has to be done that day before you go to the stadium. So the majority of people inside stadiums should either be fully vaccinated or have a negative test. So that shouldn't be so much of a problem. It's it 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 it's the players catching COVID and then playing with players and mixing with players and then spreading it around. It's quite a weird one, but they play outside. They play outside, and obviously, as we know with COVID now for the last 2 years, being outside in the fresh air, you have less chance of catching it. So it's not like they're playing indoor sport. So they've got excellent ventilation. They're outside. So it's a tough one. I don't want to see it suspended. I don't want to see anything. Personally, I think the Premier League will tell all the Premier League teams to go into bubbles, into hotels, and to do it that way. And if you've got a person with COVID, they just stay isolated in a hotel room till they pass a negative COVID test, and then you get back to normal. So I think Premier League teams will be told to hire out hotels for a few weeks near your training complex. Stay in your bubbles. Don't see anybody just for a few weeks. They can afford to do it. Families understand it's their profession, their livelihood. I think that's probably the way forward. Chris, we should be okay against Newcastle. Eddie Howe's team defensively more open than Jeff Collins' legs. Well, that'd be very open, mate. I'm much better, thanks. That's good to hear. They can't afford to play behind closed doors. No, they can't. I agree with everything you say, Jane. Thank you, John Conway. Thank you. I'm watching the darts at the moment, and more chances to catch it there. Yeah, exactly. They're indoors. It's in Ali Pally, ain't it? Have they still got fans there, Chris? Because I haven't been watching darts yet. I don't usually get into the darts till the quarterfinal stage, then I'll start watching it, because that's when it gets a bit more interesting for me. That's probably the only way to do it, Jamie. Spot on. Oh, thanks, John. Nice of you guys who thanks for that. Yeah, I just don't see how you do it any other way, guys, and I think that's what the Premier League are going to do. The problem is, because it's not the footballers. Well, it is. All footballers have got families and kids and stuff like that, and the wives might have work. The wives and girlfriends will have their own work, their own jobs. Kids will be at school and stuff like that. They can't help the spread of COVID. It's not the players going out partying 24/7 and they're getting COVID through that. It's just life in general. We've all been there, we've all got it. Afternoon, Steve. Hope you're good, mate. We're just chatting about these the COVID outbreaks at the moment and my opinions on it, and the Liverpool Newcastle game we'll get to at the moment. Chris, yeah, they got full attendances this year. Wow. Wow. I suppose though they've had to do a COVID pass. Have they had to do COVID passports to get into Ali Pali, Chris? I suppose that's how they're doing it. But as I say, this COVID thing, as I say, you can't suspend the season. There's nowhere where you can play 2 weeks worth of football if you drop it for 2 weeks or 10 days. Um, and where and when do you play it? Like I said, you got a World Cup next Christmas. Uh, you got the African Cup of Nations this January. That probably won't go ahead now. Um, and there's nowhere to play it. There's no time to play these games. Tottenham has still got to apparently find. Tottenham are wondering where they're going to play for these 3 games they got in hand in because they don't know where they're going to play them. It's a madness at the moment. It's a complete madness, and as I say, it is all political. It is all political. I mean, I just heard Chelsea fans on the football terrace say that that they haven't got the squad to cope if they got 3 or 5 players out today with COVID. And I'm like, what? You have got the squad. That's what you've told us all season. You've told us that all season. Apparently, you've got a squad. I'm the one who said, as many times I've said it on my channel, I don't think Chelsea's squad is as good as everyone says it is and as strong as everyone says it is. But now Chelsea fans are starting to admit that as well. So, I'm sorry if you've got your 3 best players are out with COVID. That's sad and that's bad for them. And I hope they're well and I hope they stay. They're fit athletes, so they should be okay. And if it is the Omicron variant, apparently that's milder. I'm not sure if that's true or not. And if that is milder, then you just they'll be fine. They'll be isolated, and you get on. I'm sorry. I don't mean to sound rude about this, guys. Steve, COVID-19 isn't going away. We just need to learn to live with it. It's like the common cold or flu. We'll probably have to have a vaccine every year, like we do with the flu jab. Yeah, eventually it will be like that. Like every virus is. It's just the worst virus that we've had in our generation. And everyone forgets about the Spanish flu. Back in the 1900s and that Spanish flu killed 50 million people, and eventually it went away. And eventually it went away, but they don't have the science and technology like we do now, so it'll eventually go away. It's just we're only 2 years into it. It eventually won't be anything worse than what we have, like flu jabs and that now. Like Chris agrees, we have to live with it, and we do. And I think that's what the Premier League are say, because as I said, if we suspend for 2 weeks, say we suspend for 2 weeks right now, so today's games are the last one, and from the weekend there's no football for 2 weeks. That's 4 games, I think, because of the amount of games at Christmas. That's 4 games. Where do you find time to play them 4 extra games? Because there's no way that players can play into the summer like they did last year. You can't have the season finishing in June or early July, and then 6 weeks later you go again for a brand new season when you've got a World Cup at Christmas, meaning the Premier League stops for 4 weeks, 6 weeks, and then has to add 6 weeks onto the following season. Where do we play these games? It don't make no sense. So unless you've got a massive outbreak and it's really serious and you can't even train in your training ground, then obviously games have to be suspended and you have to find a place to play them. But if you've got 4 or 5 or 6 players out with COVID and that's it in your team, but they're your best players, I'm sorry, if they're isolating and the rest of your team have brought up negative tests and they're fit to go, then you have to play the game. This is what squads are meant to be. What the Premier League are going to say is that the Premier League will say all you 20 teams in this Premier League are extremely wealthy and have enough money to have massive squads. All right, even the lower teams have got big squads, yeah. And they would just say you've got massive squads and you've got youth teams, you've got plenty of players to pick from. Yes, it's bad that these players have got COVID and you've had an outbreak, but you've got enough players in that to pick from in your massive squads with the money you lot receive from the Premier League to play these games. And, at the end of the day, this is all political. It's just political by football managers. Brendan Rodgers wanted this game suspended because he has no first team centre backs. Well, welcome to Liverpool last year when we didn't have a single first team centre back, and we still got third in the league. And we just got told to get on with it. Yes, COVID is not the same as injuries because you can't catch an injury. I understand all that sort of stuff. I'm not being silly there. I do get that. But, you know, we've got to start maybe treating it like an injury. If you've got 6 players out with COVID, you isolate them straight away. They don't come back to the training ground for 10 days to 2 weeks, and you test everyone else in your club every single day. And if they keep bringing back, if you keep bringing back negatives, then you play football. It's as simple as that. Simple as that. Chris, the fear culture has been down our throats. Yeah, it has. It's starting to get on my nerves. I mean, I'm not one for. I'm not into all that anti-vax stuff and conspiracy theories and stuff like that. But I do. I mean, the stuff I read now, it's just getting fear beyond fear thrown down our throats. And I watched a press conference last night, and some things didn't make sense to me when they said that South Africa have got are not being affected by the new variant that badly because they got high what's it called? You mean well, I can't remember the word now, but because they got a higher thing of it, they're not getting it so bad, although they've not had a massive vaccine uptake. But in this country, we got it really bad, but we got a massive vaccine uptake. It makes no sense what they say, and it just scares people. And you know, I don't like getting into all that, but like it's just rammed down our throats so much now. You only have to go on Facebook, Twitter, you turn the telly on, you can't escape from it now. There's always a new person saying, this will do this will that, this will do this will do that. And it's like, it's just, look, as I see it, we've had high rates of infection through the whole summer. I mean, through the summer, my birthday's in August, and we have higher vaccine uptake. I'm double vaccinated. I'm having my booster on the 22nd of this month. And, we had higher vaccine uptake through the summer. A lot of this country is vaccinated in the summer. My birthday's in August, and we had high COVID rate. Like in August, I think it was like 30,000 cases a day, and people were just getting on with their normal life. Like they forgot about COVID. And then all of a sudden, this new variant's here and it's a little bit higher than it has been. And people were going nuts and the fear mongering's back. But where was the fear mongering in the summer? It's doing my head in. Steve, exactly, mate. It's all scaremongering. We shouldn't lock down. I've had my booster yesterday, and so I'm fully vaccinated. Yeah. What more can you do as a human being at the end of the day? This is what I say. As a human being, what more can you possibly do than be vaccinated and boosted? You've done everything humanly possible as yourself to be. What more can you do in society? You've done everything right. Vaccines have never worked. I've just been double jabbed and I'm split on getting a booster, but that's my opinion. Otherwise, you wouldn't need more jabs. Yeah, well, that's your opinion, Chris. You know what I mean? You're entitled to your own opinion. It's free speech at the end of the day. But, let's get off this COVID malarkey and get on to some fun stuff. So let's talk about Liverpool Newcastle. So this Liverpool Newcastle game should be a good one tonight. We watched Man City destroy Leeds 7-0, the other day. So Liverpool be looking to get something very similar against Newcastle today to get that to get the goal difference back up, because our goal difference was quite a lot higher than Man City's before they played Leeds. So Liverpool will be looking to do a bit of damage against Newcastle tonight, and Mo Salah has scored or assisted a goal in every time he's played against Newcastle. So I can see that happening again today. There's some There's some squad adjustments maybe to be had. Chris, would I play the likes of Konate, Simicast, and Cater? I think two of them might play, but I think Robbo will play. Um, so Liverpool's team is quite an easy 11 to pick. Klopp will go with his strongest team possible whenever he can, and he probably will today. I wouldn't be surprised if Konate plays instead of Matip, but Fabinho's the one. Now, if we are playing Tottenham on Sunday, and that's a big if we do play Tottenham on Sunday, Fabinho is one yellow card away from getting a suspension. Now, you have to judge this when you think it's affordable for Fabinho to get this suspension and get this yellow card, and that's what Klopp will be thinking. Now, if he got if he got suspended for this game, it wouldn't have been a problem. Newcastle at home, so I'd rather have Fabinho for the Tottenham game. So I wouldn't play Fabinho today. I would play Thiago, Henderson, and Keita in this game, and have no Fabinho just to protect him, so he plays the Spurs game, because you just need to pick and choose when you have this suspension. If he picks out a yellow card against Spurs, he won't play the next game, and I think it's an easier game than Spurs, so I can't quite remember the fixtures right now. But that's how I would go. But I'd go really strong tonight. I want to polish Newcastle off. I want us to go for it. So, yeah, I see us winning 4 or 5-0. 4 or 5-0. It might be a tricky start of the game because Newcastle will probably sit in quite deep, hold their line, be nice and strong, and then as soon as we get our first goal, we'll get over the line, and many more will come. But it might take a bit of waiting. Might take 20 minutes or so. I think Newcastle will try and stay nice and strong first 20 minutes. Try and suffocate us a bit, keep us at arm's reach, see what they can do. But if we get an early goal, if we get a goal in the first 20 minutes, I think it could open up Newcastle badly, and we'll go on to win 4 or 5-0. If we don't score in the first 20, 30 minutes, and it's quite tight in that first half, Newcastle sitting back defensively, because Newcastle ain't going to come out. Newcastle ain't going to come out and hit anyone on the break. They're not going to play front-footed football against us, so they're not going to be on the front foot. I see like Chris 3-0. That'd be nice. Yeah, 3-0 will be fine. Any win will be fine, to be fair. I just want to keep that goal difference up a little bit over Man City, because this league could come down to things like goal difference at the moment. And, I want to keep clean sheet. I want to get as many goals as we can. As I say, if we do score in that first 20 minutes, I think it could be a very big scoreline. A very big scoreline. I'm happy for Newcastle fans, but I don't agree with their takeover due to human rights, and that Amanda is a pipe the most sad of her voice. Amanda Stevely is a massive Liverpool fan. I think that's what people don't realise. Amanda Stevely is a huge Liverpool fan. She grew up a massive Liverpool fan, but she went to a Newcastle Liverpool game, and for some reason she just got hammered with. She got asked to go to a Newcastle Liverpool game by Mike Ashley, and she fell in love with the city and all that. And but she grew up a massive Liverpool fan, Amanda Stevely, massive Liverpool fan. So I do see it a big win tonight, guys. Let me know in the comments what you reckon. But yeah, I see it. I see it a big win, and Salah. I see Salah at least scoring one and setting up one. I really do. I think it'd be a big one tonight. But Fabinho is the only one for me. I'll maybe not start Fabinho today because I don't want him suspended for the Tottenham game. So maybe he'd be rested today and he plays Keita, Thiago, and Henderson, and play Hendo in the 6, and then play Thiago and Keita a bit further forward in the midfield. That's probably how I'll go for it today, guys. But I am doing my first ever watch along tonight, guys. So if you're interested and you like watch alongs, I'm doing my very first watch along tonight. Hi, Chris. Are you good? Yeah. So, guys, 8 o'clock tonight. about 10 to 8 tonight. I'll go live tonight about 10 to 8 with the team news and all that. And then I am going to do my first ever watch along, Liverpool versus Newcastle, and see how it goes. And if it goes well, guys, and enough of you like it, enough of you like it, then yeah, come in and watch me get irate or ridiculously happy at Liverpool versus Newcastle. Now, I'm not when I watch football, I get very, very emotional. So you might see a different side to me, guys. But yeah, if you fancy watching Jamie do these, come in, guys. The more of you come in and view it, the more I will. If views are good for my watch along, I will do more, guys. Um, as I say, because I've got little kids and all that. Sometimes doing these things are not always possible. But this being an 8 p.m. kickoff, you know, it's a good way for me to do it tonight, and I'll give it a test. But yeah, so catch me tonight, guys. I'll go live at 10 to 8. If you follow me on Twitter, I think most of you do follow me on Twitter, but if you don't, it's Jamie LFC39 on Twitter. Follow me there, and I'll put up everything on Twitter in a way. And when I go live, and if you're not on Twitter and you're not following me, just hit the bell when you subscribe, and you'll get notified when I go live anyway. But yeah, I'll try and go live around 10 to 8 just before kickoff, give you the team news, settle ourselves in with a drink, some snacks, and we'll do a watch along together, guys. So join me then, guys. This has been great. Thanks for everyone joining in. It was just a quick video. I thought I'd quickly do a quick video because I ain't done my preview yet. I totally forgot about it. And with all this COVID stuff, I thought I'll have to have a little talk about it. Chris, man will be there for the watching along. Yes, Chris. Chris, I'll tune in for that. Excellent. Yeah, guys, tune in. And if the views are good and you like what you see and you think I'll do a watch along okay, I will do more in the future, guys. So, guys, I will see you tonight, 10 to 8, Jamie Phillips Football Chats YouTube channel. Look out for me on Twitter. Until tonight, guys, so long.